It's the Queen of Spades, coming at your juggler. Mouth sealed with duct tape, 1, 2, check up. Quantum bombs will knock your chin and twist your neck and rock your head off. I'm from a whole other dimension, born killers. We assassinated us, complete obliteration. The dead walk at dawn, and we nearly raised you. We pulled you into parts so we can dissect them. Transmuted all the bullshit and ripped you back together. However, niggas really try to fuck with me. They not knowing who I be, all they know is that I'm married. My rhymes is bloody to the 3rd degree. Like your neck on my guillotine, we murdering the beat. It's far too many of us dying. Peace and bright blessings, guys. It's your Queen of Spades coming at you today. I hope all of my royals are doing very well. I'm doing well today myself. Today I decided to debunk, some misunderstandings where sexual magic is concerned, sex magic. And, it's due to, my observation of, many different videos and, different things like that, that I've actually seen, over the course of time. And I've always thought to myself, I'm gonna, do a video, debunking some myths, and beliefs, negative beliefs wrapped around the subject at hand. So, and I'm not saying that, people haven't experienced what they have experienced in this lifetime. But, sometimes with the different experiences that people may or may not have over time, they may lump it or group it in to, I guess I want to say lump it in or group it in with, the positives that come with the subject at hand, based off of, different experiences they may have had. And I'm not saying that they haven't had those experiences. Those experiences may have been very real and very true for those individuals, for, different people. And I want to talk about it. I want to talk about it today because the topic of sex magic is so broad and so ambiguous, that lots of things can be grouped in with it instead of it being an experience or talked about as what it's meant for, what it's supposed to be. There's a lot of negativities tied and attached to the subject matter at hand. And so I want to go through and, debunk some thoughts on sexual magic and also talk about, some of those negative experiences as well as positive experiences I have had with sex magic and the root of it and what it's meant for. Okay, so please like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and definitely comment down below if you yourself have experienced some of the things that I mentioned in this video, and you want to talk about it, you want to have a conversation about it. Definitely leave your comments down below, and Let's get it cracking. All right. So, some of the things that I've actually seen online is when people refer to sex magic, a lot of people tend to, from what I've seen and observed, bring up circumstances and situations where um, they may have been mounted or attacked by negative entities. Um, I've seen some people speak on experiences where they may have been attacked or mounted by, you know, sexual demons that may have been sent on them from exes or people that they, you know, initially dealt with previous to their experience. And they feel like they're being controlled by the sexual magic that, or the sexual demons that, you know, that particular individual has, you know, put on them or sent, you know, to them. So let's talk about it. Um, I have heard many people express, you know, many different experiences, and some of which, you know, weren't the best of experiences. Um, they may have been unwarranted and not asked for by, you know, particular individuals. It was kind of forced. Well, not kind of, it was forced on them. Um, and in that case, it's never okay to force your will onto others, especially through sex magic, um, especially through sexual encounters. If that person does not have the choice to agree or disagree to it, that's, you know, not okay for someone to force themselves on anyone, whether it's, you know, sexually or not. Um, I've seen people talk about situations where, you know, they've gone through like paralyzation during sexual encounters, and it was a negative experience for them because, you know, they didn't ask for that, they didn't want it. Um, they weren't, maybe in some cases, even aware that it was going on or happening. And, you know, that's just not cool. Um, you have some people in all forms of magic or manifestation that may use different forms of magic or rituals to um, bring about desired goals, um, things that they desire to manifest, whether it be, you know, control of that person or to cause fear or domination, whatever the case may be. And everybody has their own reasoning behind why they use it. So when I do uh, videos on magic and we have these types of talks, I always encourage everyone that uses my different methods and techniques and the different spells that I post, that you use it in the most responsible way possible, um, because there's always an opposite or equal reaction, especially um, if you're putting energy out into the universe and you're doing it selfishly, um, or with not the best intentions. it ends up not going well for those people who use magic selfishly. If you're using it in defense or to have justice in your favor, I do believe in retribution. So I can't say that that is wrong, to use it in defense of yourself. Different forms of magic. But if you are imposing sexual magic on people and you're using it to paralyze them and, just basically do what you want with them, dominate them, that's not cool. And you will have to answer for that. Um, that type of domination over people, um, just for your own selfish, desires or goals to be fulfilled, um, like I said before, is never okay. And um, it comes from a very perverse uh, mindset and way of thinking, in my opinion. And it's just not cool. I've never forced myself on anyone, and I haven't experienced anyone magically attempting to force themselves on me. Um, have I been approached by succubus, incubus energies before? Yes, absolutely. Um, but, a person that, you were once in a relationship with, and they decide to visit you at night when you're asleep, and come in your dreams, or they desire to, astral project themselves into um, your home and just take advantage of you while you're sleeping. Um, Actually, I take that back. I can't say that um, well, I've never experienced someone dominating me with sex magic, but I have experienced a degree of rape. So to me, that's kind of what that falls under. That falls under the same energetic, makeup as rape. Um, Someone forcing themselves on you, and you don't desire to be with them sexually, you don't desire to interact or engage with them, but because they desire to, they force themselves on you, or they project into your home, or into your place of work, or into your dreams, just to keep you in fear or keep domination over you, or just to satisfy themselves, whether you want it or not, is not cool to me at all. Um, I don't support that type of perverse thinking, and I don't. I never really come with that type of spirit or mentality when I'm doing magic. Magic is here, and it is an ancient science, it is an ancient art. It has been used, for, since ancient times, um, to help one to propel themselves forward, or to help or heal others, to manifest things that you desire into, reality, um, to heal yourself or others. To me, that's overall what magic should be used for, to manifest the things that, we desire in this lifetime, as well as justice in your favor, to defend yourself, to protect yourself, your family, your children. That's what it's meant for. So anybody using it outside of that, just for selfish reasons, just because they can, or just because, they still want to be with someone sexually, but that person doesn't desire them, is absolutely not cool. And it's not okay. And, as I was saying, that's the negative aspect of sexual magic. Now, the positives of sex magic, as I previously stated, is usually to manifest, the different things that we desire in this lifetime. And when it is performed properly, then no one feels taken advantage of. And it is used to help, to heal, to manifest for any and all parties involved in the sex magic. Um, so, and I actually have a couple of books on sex magic. I encourage you to go onto Amazon, go onto Google, and just type in books on sex magic and the ancient arts of sex magic. Um, it was initially brought forth to help people to manifest, either to manifest sexually solo or to manifest in partnerships, like if you're married, or you're in a relationship and that person cares for you, you care for them, and you decide you want to manifest, a certain type of life together, or a life, for yourself as an individual. Um, then you would get with that person, and they're aware of it, and you're aware of it, and you get together during the act of sex, and you manifest, what it is that you desire to manifest in this lifetime. Um, I actually pulled up an article on sex magic, and I'm just going to read a little bit of it to you guys. Sexual magic refers to an ancient science that has been known and protected by the purest, most spiritually advanced human beings whose purpose and goal is okay, is the harnessing and perfection of our sexual forces. A more accurate translation of sexual magic would be sexual priesthood or priestesshood. The word magic is derived from the ancient word magos, one of the members of the learned and priestly class. Um, yeah, it means to be able to have power. All of us possess some electrical and magnetic forces within, and just like a magnet, we exert a force of attraction and repulsion. Between lovers, that magnetic force is particularly powerful and its action has a far reaching effect. And that was stated by Samuel on, I hope I'm pronouncing it right, on we are the mystery of the golden flower. Okay. In ancient times, the priest was always accompanied by the priestess, for they represent the divine forces at the base of all creation, the divine masculine and the divine feminine. The Yab Yam, the Yang Yang, Father Mother, the Elohim. Unfortunately, the term sexual magic has been grossly misinterpreted by mistaken persons such as Aleister Crowley, who advocated a host of degenerated practices, all of which belong solely to the lowest and most perverse mentality. This website and the teachings presented here reject all such philosophies, theories, and practices, for they lead only to the enslavement of the consciousness, the worship of lust and desire, and the decay of humanity. Let me just say, sex is very spiritual. The act of sex is very spiritual and is spiritually based. And that's what it means for me as well. Um, the act of sex is very sacred to me. So much so that I'm very particular about, you know, um, the types of people that I have engaged with. If I sense anything off or perverse or degenerate, or unhealthy or toxic, where an individual is concerned and sexuality is concerned, whether it's towards me or others, then that's not going to fly for me. That doesn't work for me. And I have cut relationships off in the past based off of um, that person's level of understanding or, misinterpretation of how, sexual magic is supposed to go and what it is supposed to manifest. Um, Now, it's okay to be freaky with your partner, or your partners, your lovers, whatever the case may be, whether it's one or many. That's strictly your choice. Um, it's okay when both parties are willing participants and both parties know exactly what sexual magic is and what sexual magic does. But it's never okay to make someone interact with you in that way just because you want it and you don't care to find out if that person is interested in it or not. That's not okay. So let me continue reading. Sexual magic destroys lust. Got a feather on my hand from my fan. Sexual magic destroys lust. Sexual magic creates love, which is divine. True, upright, heavenly sexual magic is the natural harnessing of our latent forces, making them active and harmonious with nature and the divine. Upright sexual magic is a holy sacrament, immaculate, and as pure as a flower. Okay, now let's go into a brief overview of how sexual magic is done, how it works. Okay, so authentic magic, the practical metaphysics of Bacon, is the mysterious science that allows us to control the subtle forces of nature. Practical magic is in accordance with Novalis, the prodigious art that allows us to consciously have influence over the interior aspects of the human being and of nature. Without any doubt, love is the intimate ingredient of magic. It is clear that the marvelous substance of love works magically. Um, yeah. So, the fundamental law of every magical influence is based on polarity. All of us human beings, without exception, have certain amounts of electric and magnetic forces within ourselves. Therefore, similar to a magnet, we exert a force of attraction and a force of repulsion. This magnetic force is very powerful, especially among men and women who adore each other, and it is unquestionable that its action reaches very far. Um, yeah, so sexual functionalism, deprived of any spirituality and of any love, is only one pole of life. Sexual yearning and spiritual longing in a complete mystical function constitute in themselves the two radical poles of every sane and creative eroticism. For us, the Gnostics, the physical body is something like a materialized and condensed soul, and not an impure, sinful element, as supposed by the authors of a medieval type of absolute asceticism. Okay, so basically, by all means, it stands out that sexual magic or sex yoga leads intelligently to the mystical union of the soul with sexuality. That is to say, vivifying sexuality. Then, what is sexual stops being a cause for shame, dissimulation, or taboo? It becomes profoundly religious. So, with the act of sex being very spiritual, Okay, so we have souls, and our souls are within these bodies, which are the vehicles that, our souls use to get us around and do the things that we desire to do in this lifetime. With that body comes human needs and desire. So if you have a partner, a lover, or you're in a committed relationship of any sort, and you and that partner are sexual, and you decide one day, that you want to manifest more money into your life, or you decide one day that you want to manifest more cars, more houses, more businesses, um, then you can use the art of sex magic with your partner to manifest those things for the both of you upon orgasm. So the body is the physical vehicle, and the body um, has a desire. Your humanity has a desire to, have sex, be intimate, to be passionate with, your partner or your lover, whomever you're with. The only thing I say is make sure that that person wants to do it along with you. So they are actually in agreement, with sexual magic, and they love and care for you, so they desire to manifest certain things in this lifetime with you and for themselves also as individuals. Make sure it is a mutual, thing for the both of you. And use the sexual magic for positive outcomes. Use the sexual magic to manifest abundance for you both. Use it to manifest the life that you desire for you and your partner. And the way that you do it is, if you and your partner are, in bed together and you become, intimate and sexual, and you're going through the motions and you're going through the act, you should be able to state out loud or in your mind with your partner. And you both would have talked about this beforehand as far as what you're desirous of manifesting. So that when you are in the act of sex, that you mention in your mind or out loud the different things that you both have discussed. And you basically hone in and concentrate on those things that you want to manifest. And upon orgasm, upon the release, you're thinking about all these things that you want to manifest with your partner. And the orgasm sends it out into the universe to manifest, and to bring back that sexual energy, which is a very potent and very powerful energy. um, the abundance or the things that you desire to manifest for you and your partner. And that's how it's supposed to work. So anything other than that is outside of how it's supposed to be used, and outside of uh, the ancient sciences and practices of sexual magic and what it was initially meant for. Um, do people have bad experiences with people who are toxic and not level minded where magic period is concerned, and they may just use it however they want to because they feel like they can, and they feel like they can impose on, someone else? Yes, people have those experiences and they're very real, but that's not to say that that is just the end all be all of sex magic. That is one perverse um, type of sexual magic act that someone has decided to do on their own. But that's not the whole entirety of what sexual magic actually is, or even what it was intended for. So if someone is using it outside of manifesting with their partner an abundant life and what they want to have together with their partner, then that's misusing the power of sexual magic. And that's someone turning it into something dark and perverse, pretty much. Um, so I wanted to go into that a little bit with you guys because I hear and see a lot of people talking about it nowadays. And, people are talking about how they felt forced on, by an individual who was, or they went and got a reading done. And that person told them, people are doing sex magic on you and this, that, and the other. And that may very well be the case. However, that's not what sex magic is supposed to be. So if you find that a person is using it to rule over your life and keep you bound to them or keep you thinking about them or wanting them, desirous of them, well, that is the toxic form and the negative form of sexual magic. And that's not to say that there are not actually positive spiritual based uh, components of sex magic, because there are. In fact, that's what it is in totality. It's actually meant to be a positive thing. So if someone's using it to do negativities on people, such as controlling them, binding them to them, and things of that nature, that doesn't coincide with the laws of nature, and that doesn't coincide with the laws of universal law. Um, if that is happening, then if that's happening to anyone that follows my videos, subscribes to this channel, and this has been going on, and you found out recently, or you have a feeling that someone's doing that to you, then there's many ways to rid yourself of that energy. You could come to someone like myself, or there's many others like me out there that can perform, an uncrossing on you to leash you of that energy that is attaching themselves to you. Or you can be taught and told and trained how to actually uncross yourself and leash yourself from that toxic hold that individual may have on you for whatever reason. Um, but they're going to have to answer for that if they are using um, sex magic to dominate you, control you, keep you bound to them, keep you thinking about them, keep you wanting them while they just, they're far off in the distance doing what they want to do, but they're using it to do whatever to you, keep you like thinking about them 24/7 and stuff like that. That's a misuse of that type of power and that type of magic, because it's not supposed to be like that. I have done sex magic by myself, and you can do that, like I said, solo, where, basically through self pleasing and manifesting, holding in your mind the things that you desire to manifest for yourself in this lifetime, holding it in your mind, and upon orgasm, actually stating it out loud, that you see yourself having these things, or stating it in your mind that I have this, I'm abundant, I'm financially free. You can do all those things. You can do it by yourself, or you can do it with a partner. And I've done it both ways. I've done it with, you know, um, partners, and I've done it solo. And it was mutual situations, where both I and the partner at the time, wanted to manifest some heavy things into, you know, our lives. You got to make sure that that person cares and loves you, because Divine love is the highest form of, power and of manifestation. And it is the highest form of power, period. So if your intentions are pure and if they're good, and if they're meant to just propel you forward and help you to manifest positive things in your lifestyle, in your life, period, there's nothing wrong with that. But again, if you're using it to control people and dominate people, and you're just misusing the power just to, you know, be selfish in how you use it, just to your own grandizement, then there is something wrong with that, and I don't agree with that. There is good and bad in everything. There is negative and positive in everything, in every aspect of life. And it doesn't necessarily mean that everything is wrong or evil totally and completely. It just means that the experience that you particularly had, or that I particularly had, or that we particularly had, it tells me that someone misused their power and they're going to have to answer for that. Tells me that someone took something into their own hands selfishly and manipulated the influences of magic to carry out a certain goal or outcome of their own. And it had nothing to do with divine love, it had everything to do with domination and selfishness. And like I said, that individual will have to answer for that. But understand, there's good and bad in religion, there's good and bad in money. Some people believe that they don't necessarily need money in this lifetime because money is the root of all evil. I think that the misuse of money is the root of all evil, but I love money. And I think that money is a positive thing. In fact, it's very necessary in this lifetime. Money is very necessary. Gold and other currencies of money uh, is very necessary, and it's used and it's needed in this lifetime. So while I agree with some instances, I don't agree with everything because it just simply tells me that, that person is misusing their power and the use of magic, um, for their own grandizement, for their own selfishness. And that's not how it's supposed to be used. It's supposed to be a mutual agreement between, two adults, two consenting adults, that normally practice sex and intimacy between the two of them or by themselves, and they've decided to empower it by making it work for them, by manifesting great things into this lifetime. And there's nothing wrong with that. The act of sex is a ritual within itself. And so every time you have sex with someone, it is a ritual that you are performing with this person, whether you know it or not, whether you call it sex magic or not. You're manifesting something anyway, whether you state, you're desirous of manifesting something or not. You are indeed manifesting something. So why not purposefully use the energy to manifest great things into your life as opposed to just wanting to come, just wanting to, you know, get off. It's so much more than that. It's so much more than that. Um, you want to use sexual magic to help you lose weight. If you want to use sexual magic to bring about your you know attractive powers so that you can attract more money flow and more customers into your business or whatever the case may be. You just want to attract money. You just want to attract opportunities in your job or in the workplace or in your career. Um, you know. You can do that with sex magic. Doesn't necessarily make it a bad, horrible, harmful, evil thing. It's not when you're using it in a mature, healthy mindset and mentality. Um, this goes back to the Kabbalah. This goes back to, many different ancient sciences that promote and uh, uh, state and claim, that sexual magic started way back when, and they promote the healthier forms of the act. They promote and talk about, the more positive aspects of it, like I just did today. That's what it's meant for. Um, if you are experiencing anything outside of that, there's people like me out here that can help you rid yourself of sex demons. There's people out here that can help you uncross yourself and get rid of those soul ties that we all accumulate from, the different acts of intimacy and connections and relationships that we may have had over time. And that's why it's very important to know that person before connecting with them in a sexual way, because you never know what may be attached to that person. And as soon as you become intimate and sexual with that person, now it has attached itself onto you too. And people may be wanting certain people for years after they have uh, broken up with that person or whatever the case may be, because they did not go about doing a proper ceremony of cord cutting from that energy, and they have not done a proper cleansing and uncrossing of said energies. And so, as a result, it leaves the energy to run amok in their lives and, attach unto them and the different areas of their life, and, start, disabling some things that they're trying to, build up in a positive fashion. If you don't handle that, then it can ruin your life based off of the individual that you connected with sexually, that may not be all right within themselves, or they may not have had the best intentions. And so, as a result, all of that has attached itself to you, and now you're going through hell in your life and everything's just disintegrating. Well, that's not sex magic. That's that person's mentality and mindset that actually performed, whatever ritual with you and bound you to them or bound themselves to you. That's their mindset. That's their perverse mentality. Sex magic is a beautiful thing, and it's meant to be a positive thing, and it's meant to propel all of us forward, um, depending on your intentions and what you're using that sexual energy for. Um, so, no one person can really say sex magic is such a horrible thing, it's so negative, it's just all bad. I saw um, a few people actually. I follow a lot of people on YouTube as well that, talk about some of the same topics that I talk about, that I may have been drawn to at some point or another in my journey, on YouTube. And wow. Do y'all hear what just came on? And this is one of my favorite songs. Oh man, but sex with me. But anyways, so um it's just crazy because, like, I've seen, many people on YouTube, and they have their, their channel and their following and what they talk about. And they may feel the need to, speak on certain things based off of, experiences. I've done that as well. It's nothing necessarily wrong with it, but just make sure you do, your just due in studying certain subjects and topics before you conglomerate everything in or link everything in, you know, with everything. Like, there's negative and positive in everything. Everything's not negative, everything's not positive. It really just depends on the person and the intentions that they have behind it. Um, just like I've seen some videos where people like, stay away from witchcraft, stay away from black magic, stay away from um, doing roots, stay away from voodoo, stay away from hoodoo. And I'm a practitioner of those things. So I watched that and I'm like, wow, I'm sorry for the person. I feel bad for the person who had some really bad experiences with it. But it doesn't mean that because I practice magic, like I'm an evil person, or the next person, just because they practice magic, that they're an evil person. Stay away from witchcraft, stay away from, these different things, these different forms of magic, Wicca and all these other things. And I've met some really cool people, over time that, just like myself, practice magic. And these types of practices go back to our roots. Study the French Revolution and how the Haitians used magic to defeat the French, which technically I could be considered um, some parts of French. My last name is French and I have some French descent. Um, and like I have a mixture of a few things, French, Caucasian, um, Cherokee Indian, but overall, mostly I identify as black because I mean, that's mostly what I am. Um, but I could be considered like a black Creole, I guess you could say. Um, but I have many different uh, races and ethnicities, kind of like intertwined and roped in my lineage. And so I don't hate people because of their differences. Um, I don't care what color people are. I don't care, um, what people practice in their daily lives, as long as they're not screwing people over, to just propel themselves forward. That's taking advantage of magic, and you will have to answer for that, my dear. You just will. Um, if you are doing magic to help yourself or to heal others or to help others in this lifetime, and your intentions are pure and genuine, or you're doing it to protect yourself, or you're doing magic to return back negative energy to people who send it to you, there's nothing wrong with those types of things in my book. And that's just how I feel about that. However, if you are taking advantage of it and you're using it for your own personal uses and you don't care who you screw over in the process, well, that's altogether different. And as I stated before, time and time again, you will have to answer for that. And nothing can stop you answering for that. Um, so choose wisely. Be very careful in your choice of, you know, doing certain acts of magic and rituals. And make sure that you understand why you're doing it and what your intentions are behind it. Um, it's the same thing. Um, Discrimination can go across the board. So if you think that all witches are bad because you had an experience with a witch who screwed you over, or you think that all acts of magic is bad because you've had bad or negative experiences with magic and other people who misuse that, or you think that all black people are bad just because they're black and you've had bad experiences with black people. Or you think that all white people are bad because you've had bad experiences with white people, and so all white people are bad. Discrimination across the board, no matter what it is or what subject or topic it is not fair to the people like myself who actually are balanced and use magic in the way that it's supposed to be used. Like I said, this goes back to my roots. And even if I decided today to be a school teacher, to be a judge, to be a lawyer, to be a nurse, a doctor, which, a couple of those things I have degrees in, I could decide today to just, drop everything and become any of those things and succeed and excel with my degrees. However, this was in me all along. Magic is not something that, we can choose it and we can choose to practice. We can choose to enhance our gifts and talents, our natural gifts and talents and powers where, magic is concerned. But this is something that's in all of us. And you can choose to ignore your gifts and talents and never, ever do magic in life. You can choose that because we all have free will, right? Or you could choose to actually exercise your natural God given powers, talents, and gifts and do magic as it's supposed to be done. This was something that I was born with. Like, these are gifts and talents that, are my birthright. And it's in all of us, whether we choose to explore those talents or gifts or not. It's in us. It's our birthright. So just some things to think about, you know. Um, it's very interesting to see the different topics on this of discussion on these different, matters and things of that nature. And all I say is be balanced. No matter what you read, no matter what you hear, be balanced and make sure the individuals that are given the information are balanced as well. And then do your own research and find out, the ins and outs and the knowledge of on different topics for yourself. You can read about things, you can observe things, you can listen to things all day long, but then do your own research too. That's all I say. Okay? It's always more than what may meet the eye, or it's always more than what we may think things are. So do the research, be a scientific thinker, and don't let people and the experiences you've had with them or things that people say about certain subjects or topics scare you away from doing your own research. You never have to experience it if you don't want to, but at least do the research on it so that you can be knowledgeable and knowing, what it's about yourself, and you don't have to depend on others to tell you anything because you already did the research and you don't think, you don't believe, you know. All right. So that's all I have on the subject topic for today. We can go more into it possibly in future videos. Let me know what you guys think down below. Like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and I look forward to talking to you guys again in the next video. Peace and bright blessings.